Hello? Okay. So we have something to talk about. Well, maybe you are unaware, but I'm a sort of a book lover. I'm not a hardcore book lover. I didn't read a lot of books over the course of my life, regretfully, I might add. But I do like some reading, especially good reading. I do like it. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm not a hardcore book reader. I should be, but I'm not. And I can remember my adolescence, and I regret so many good books I could have read, and I didn't read back then. And what I was doing, I was just watching porn. Yeah, life sucks, and truth hurts, but that's what I was doing when I was an adolescent. And I should have read all these books, and I would know a lot and have be even more knowledgeable. But I do like some good reading. I still read books in my adolescence, and to this day I read not so much because I don't have a lot of time to read. That's why I regret, because I think I would like to read all those books from my adolescence, but I don't have the time to read them now. So go back in time to my adolescence and read them. That would be the best approach, because now I cannot fit those books into my day. So I like reading, and I thought, well, I want to be a pro player, e-athlete, if you like. So why not um, read some books to help with that? Why not learn how to play the game better by read some books, like reading some books? Like I went to Game FAQs and I read several great guides, and I liked them so much that I went as far as to write my own guide, a big one, and I even jokingly a bit of a joke, but it's actually like I'm not lying when I say like you can just call me the author. I'm the guide writer or the author if you like. I wrote the PUBG guide. It's the only one I know of. So in game FAQs. So I wrote it. I'm the guide writer. So one of my many achievements. I'm not saying the guide is perfect, it's the best guide in the history of mankind. It's probably the best guide in the history of game FAQs. Not because of the guide itself, maybe there are mistakes in the guide, but because of the contributions. That's why I believe it's the best guide in game FAQs. I don't think it's very common for a guide to have contributions to gaming, esports, and the game it deals in the guide itself. So I don't think this is commonplace. So my guide has several contributions, not one or two, but several contributions. So that's why I believe it's the best guide in the history of game FAQs. So okay, enough of that. I just went to PUBG. I tried guides. I read several guides, not guides, but PUBG books on Amazon, and they were great. I learned a lot. I watched video guides on Udemy, on YouTube, and what else. I hired coaches, and then I remember when I was a Xbox gamer, there was Battlefield 4, a game that I liked very much. Today I don't like it so much, just like every other shooter, just because of the recoil, mostly. The recoil feels like toy recoil of toy weapons. But that's not my fault, it's PUBG. Like, how can they make such a perfect game? It's a shame to all the opponents out there. So it's unfair because it's so perfect of a game. No, I'm not a Pokemon. I'm just a critic of what I taste. If it's shit, I'll say it's shit. If it's the best game ever made, I'll say it's the best game ever made. It's that simple. So I remember I wanted to buy a Prima guide. Prima is renowned for gaming guides, just like Game FAQs. But Prima is much more serious. It's a big business that moves a lot of money. So Game FAQs is free, so it moves some money, but probably not so much. So Prima guides, and I wanted a guide for Battlefield 4. At the time I wanted also a guide for COD, but I don't play COD anymore. I have my reasons. I never actually said I will never again play COD. Maybe if they rename it and make some other changes, I could see myself trying it again, who knows. But in the current state of affairs, I don't think this is gonna happen. I hope this doesn't happen. But wow. So I remember I wanted the guide for Battlefield. Obviously, I didn't buy the guide for COD because I don't play COD anymore. But I did buy the guide for Battlefield 4, and God, it is a great guide. It's much better than I expected. I thought it would be a guide for the a walkthrough for the campaign, a guide explaining the weapons and maybe the game modes, and that would be it. I had some expectation, like a curiosity. What would they talk about in the guide? It's a 400-page guide. What do they talk about so much? But I didn't expect it would be so good. I knew it would be good probably. I know it's professionals writing this thing, but it's even better than I expected. And just when you open the guide, you come to the Alpha Squad. So you see the names of the guys, they all have great names. And just from their gamer tags, they actually have good names. Unlike someone I know, they are not lacking a good name. So that's hilarious. But anyway, let's not change the subject. So the Alpha Squad, so Mabuza, okay, that's the weakest. Yeah, I have to say, but he's not watching my stream, right? So nobody watches my channel, but Mabuza, maybe it's the weakest gamer tag, but he's not a gamer, he's the guide writer actually. But the other ones, they are all pro players, most of them, they are pro players. So look at the gamer tag, strong side, oh my god, that's cocky. Flame sword, I like that one very much. Even his picture, the guy looks very bold and cocky. Illuminate, you know, it's a black guy, but he still thought of a really nice gamer tag. I don't care what means Illuminate. I care, but I don't know what does it mean. But it doesn't need to mean anything. That's my point. It doesn't really need to mean anything, because the sound of Illuminate, it sounds like Illuminati. So I think he's making a sort of a pun with the Illuminati, like maybe an anagram, but using different letters that will sound similar, but using different letters. So really smart. I hope it doesn't have a bad meaning. And Walshy, okay, that's also, he just used his surname. Some players do that, like Bachulins, but it's okay, gamer tag, it's okay, gamer tag. So, wow. These guys, like Strong Side, first place in the worldwide tournament held by 343 Industries. First place, MLG, first place. Let's see Flamesword. 3 first place finishes. First place, Dallas Championship, Winter Championship, Chicago Championship, I don't know anymore. Let's see Walshy, first place. So now you can tell why he's such a great guy. So even though I have a lot of knowledge now that I didn't have back in the Xbox days and PlayStation days as well, at the time I didn't buy the guide. Why? Because I didn't have the money. I could not afford it. I spent too much money with games, so I didn't have so much money to spend on a guide. So the guide, like, later I'll buy the guide, and I never bought it. So now I have more money. Not that I have more money, I don't actually have more money, but I do have less gaming spending overall, because I only buy G coins for PUBG and that's it. So I can buy this guide finally. And even though I hired coaches, I've read several PUBG books, I wrote my own guide, I still learn a lot of new stuff by reading this guide. And last but not least, I just confirmed several of the knowledge that I already had. I read the guide and I would realize, okay, so this is indeed correct what I learned in PUBG. This is really important, like having cover. Just an example, they say on the guide, have cover. So it's an example. So oh, it is indeed important. Even in Battlefield, you should always have cover. So it helps me in confirming that my knowledge is actually important knowledge. Strong side invented the strong side move. Walshy popularized the claw grip as a way of holding the Xbox controller. Great, isn't it? So okay. So I won't talk about the guide because the guide is very long. It's 400 pages. But I want to talk about something, and that's why I'm coming here at this moment. I was requested to do that. No, I'm not the president. So Battlefield Esports, question answer with strong side. So okay, just a pause for some party. I'm not the one partying right now. It's my body, but it's not me. You can believe me. I think it's my body. I don't know. Is it my body? I don't really know anymore. I still have anus, so maybe it's my body. If I didn't have an anus, maybe I would say it's not my body anymore. But I still do have an anus, like ass. Okay. So another great feature of the guide, they made an interview with Strongside, a pro player, multiple times champion in Halo, and I think Battlefield as well, probably. Battlefield doesn't have such a strong esports, but they did have some tournaments. I think he won some tournaments as well. So strong side, Battlefield esports. So they made an interview with Strong Side, asking like. Okay. Several things about esports, and the interview was so good, but so good. One page only of the interview was so good, but so good that I had the idea maybe they should have made an entire book with this guy, with him giving like his knowledge on esports and tips on how to become a pro player, because it's so good. Just that, you know, just that it's so good. It's really good reading. I really enjoy reading this. It's really good reading, and. I also had the idea after reading this interview, actually, let me go to Google, and I Googled for esports books, and I found several. I bought some of them, and I'm gonna read them in the future when I have time. I went to Amazon, and wow, so really good. This guide was godsend, honestly. So okay, I won't read all the interview, but I want to read something. So, what advice could you give to gamers thinking to make the transition into professional gaming? Man, that's the question I'd like to ask him in person. Let me read the response. It's not so long, but it's a really good response. But, wow, we learned that human beings are fallible, so no one's perfect. So his response is not perfect. If I was like a professor in a college, we know when you are evaluating an exam, written exam, for example, when you evaluate Fraga's exam, like you go like point by point, and okay, you didn't make the cut. When evaluating Strong Side's exam based on his reply, I would go point by point and I'll say, okay, here you score a point, here you scored a goal, here you scored like 3-point basketball thing. I don't know the name in English. Yeah, my English is really bad. So 3 points in basketball. Here is like a marvelous goal, and so on and so forth. But here, no, this is wrong. You didn't score a point here. But you continue. Okay, now you are back to scoring goals. You score here, you score here, you score here. So if we measure everything, it's like out of 10 points in the exam, he scored 9 out of 10. So he's approved with an A grade. So 9 out of 10 points. That is just one thing that he didn't score. And in this reply, Even though I have 1500 hours in PUBG, he said something that I never tried before. And I guess it's no coincidence, the guy is a multiple times champion. The guy is really smart. So let me read his reply and you make your own conclusions. What advice could you give to gamers seeking to make the transition to professional gaming? Okay, here is a strong side answer. To become a high-level player, you have to try your hardest every game. If you fail, you have to take the opportunity to learn from your mistakes and improve it. Okay, I know all that already, but this is both correct, very correct. Your stats and wins may not go up every match you play. The exact opposite can occur while learning new routes, strategies, and skill sets. Okay, I also knew that. You play for improvement, not score. To be one of the best, you need to try new things. So take on new roles, like being the aggressor or being the sniper, okay? You need to try new things indeed. My first win in Battle Royale came when I tried to change my strategy and try a totally different strategy and play in a new way. Thinking outside the box. You may not be great at every role at first, but it takes time to be a well-rounded player. Okay, so truth. The guy is really knowledgeable on esports and professional gaming. The game and the players are constantly evolving. That is why you should be learning something new every single day. He didn't say every single day, but anyway, every day. You should be learning something new every day. This is kind of poetic and also so true. You should be learning something new every day, because just what he said. Your enemies will improve and learn new tactics. If you don't learn something new every day, you'll be left behind. I excelled in many video games I played because I always focus on what I could do better. Okay, I also do that, but I don't excel in many video games, but I do that. I focus on what I can do better. When I play Battle Royales first, I would always try to close the range between me and my opponents because I only played shotguns. Because I excel with shotguns. When I would lose, I would watch my opponents, learn what they did, and mimic them, or learn to counter the playstyle. Okay, so here we have something mimicked. Okay, I think this is not correct. So here is where he doesn't score a point. This is actually wrong, but I don't know. I tried to explain that. I thought maybe he just chose a bad word. This is not actually what he does. He just chose a bad word to describe what he actually does. I mean, but I don't know. Or maybe, you know, the guy just played video games all his life. So his life is all about video games. So he's not as old as it seems, because he only played video games. He invested everything he had in video games. He got the result, but well, he didn't know about mimicking. So if he knew about mimicking, he would probably not do it. So people were telling me he needs to be born again. I don't think so. I don't think he needs to be born again. I believe, like, if he knew about mimicking, he probably wouldn't do that on purpose. That's for sure. On purpose, he wouldn't do that. Like deliberately mimicking. I don't think so. But he probably didn't know that. So we can just educate him. So he will do better next time. But all the rest he said is all true. And I would remember the Apostle Paul, Saint Paul. He would say, "De tudo retém o que é bom." I don't know how to say this in English. Like, let's try to translate. From everything, absorb what is good. So you reject what is bad and absorb what is good. So from all he said, you know, I have a brain, so I can think by myself. I can see the truth in everything he teaches. So what is not true, I can see what is not true. So I don't follow this teaching, but there is the rest of his teachings I can follow. And what's interesting, what strikes me is that he says, when I would lose, I would watch my opponents. Okay, that's fine, I do that. Learn what they did. Okay, that's also fine. Mimic them. No, this is not fine. Or learn to counter their playstyle. Learn to counter their playstyle. Okay, I never actually thought about this. Even though I play Counter-Strike, the name of the game is pretty obvious, but I never thought that myself. I took notes, I made the PUBG laws of robotics, I hired coaches, I wrote my own guide, I read several PUBG books, and I never thought about that. I even took notes of that, and I included that in my notes. You can see here. Learn how to counter the playstyle of those who beat you. I think this is really interesting. So now, like, I have a new way to see the game and appreciate my losses in PUBG. So how could I counter the approach that the enemy had against me? How could I counter that? So this is all I learned with a simple reply. Learn how to counter the playstyle of those who beat you. I never thought that myself before, I'm being honest. Try your hardest every game. Okay, I thought that myself, but hearing he say that, now I know this is really important. Learn from your mistakes. Okay, I say that all the time. I say that actually that I'm very stupid because I do the same mistakes all the time and never learn from them. But anyway, learn from your mistakes. So it's really true. You should be learning something new every day. This is kind of poetic, but it's true. It's true. So, wow, no one's perfect. That's what I would say. I don't think he needs to be made again. I don't think he needs to be born again. I think it's just something to learn. So you make a mistake, you learn from that mistake. He said it himself, learn from your mistakes. So it's that simple. Just learn. We can learn. We don't need to make someone again try the slightest of mistakes. We don't need to do that. That's not what I think. That's not what I believe. I believe our bodies and minds and brains, they are so powerful. We can learn new things, and we can adapt, we can evolve, we can become better beings without the need to start all over again. So I always try to evaluate my decisions and think of what I could have done different or better with what is in front of me. Okay, I also do that. This is really important. This prepares me to recognize recurring situations and make better choices instead of repeating the same costly mistakes. Most of all, have fun. Okay, so really nice reply that made me interested in reading more about this and made me dig for books on the web. And I would like to see a book from this guy, like he talking. Let me read his achievements here. So, Michael Cavanaugh. Michael has extensive knowledge in competitive FPS gaming and has been competing for the past 9 years. Known to pick up any game and become a master at it. Michael's dedication. Can you become a master at PUBG? Haha. Michael's dedication and drive are key factors behind his gaming success, winning several major professional tournaments in the last 5 years. Outside of FPS gaming, Cavanaugh enjoys rock climbing, wakeboarding, skydiving, and many other action sports. He is also an avid old-school gamer. Notable gaming accomplishments: first place in the worldwide tournament held by 343 Industries and Virgin Games Infinity Challenge Halo 4, winning a 2013 Halo Edition for the F-150 Raptor. Okay, that's nice. First place, Major League Gaming MLG, I don't know what this means. 2007 National Championship, Halo 2. Chin did not lose a single game in the tournament. My god, Chin did not lose a single game in the tournament. First place, BIC Pro FFA MLG 2011. 16 first place finishes at major national worldwide tournaments. My god, the guy is a monster. 8 first place finishes at MLG tournaments. 30 top 4 finishes at major national worldwide tournaments. NBA player Gilbert Arenas sponsorship. Invented the strong side move. Okay. So, well, I wouldn't say that. Oh, he did not need to be made again, to be born again. But actually, that's what they told me. So I have to say it. But it's so obvious I wouldn't even say it because this is something really serious and no joke. But I'm not sure if they are joking with it. I hope they are not joking because this is really serious. We shouldn't joke with this stuff. But well, so out of 10 points, he scored 9 points. In my exam, in my evaluation as a would-be professor, I would give him 9 out of 10 points for this answer. Yeah, I don't actually do that, learn what my opponents did, but maybe it's fine to learn what the opponents did. Okay, here they did this. Okay, I could have countered them like this. Well, bottom line, no one's perfect. No one's perfect. The guy has so many championships, a very accomplished pro player, but no one's perfect really. No one's perfect. But if you like, buy the guide for Battlefield 4, Prima Games guide, buy it for yourself, and you will definitely love the reading. You definitely love the reading. There is some gems here. It's like a gold mine in the feeling. I read and I want more and more. Also, I heard, they told me, they closed Prima Games because of that. Because of the strong side incident. Because he mentioned mimicking. I don't think they needed to close Prima Games. And I believe they can reopen Prima Games. Oh, fuck. Oh no. Fuck. I believe they can reopen Prima Games. Because Prima Games is such a great resource, a great site, with great guides. I want more of them. I would like to see a PUBG guide from Prima Games. Remember, there is no absolute truth. So just because they close it, it needs to be closed forevermore. There is no absolute truth. So they can open it again. They can open it again. So who said you cannot mimic? Never ever mimic. There is no absolute truth. Okay, now I don't know what I'm saying. But anyway, 9 out of 10 points. An impressive score. A grade. No one's perfect. But the guy is really accomplished individual. He should be very proud of being who he is. And he should probably spend his time more with girlfriends and prostitutes. Because he would definitely be popular with them. Okay. Well, they requested me to come here, come forward and say the words, so I'm saying. These are all just my opinion. I don't mean to be a judge or anything. It's just my opinion. You can have yours. So my opinion weighs a lot, probably because you know who I am. A former scientist, one of the top scientists in the world, of my age, of my generation, I mean. So very accomplished individual. So my opinion weighs a lot, but well, it's just my opinion. If my opinion didn't weigh a lot, they wouldn't request me and beg me to come here to say something. But they should reopen Prima Guides. That's what I think. They should reopen Prima Guides. They can reopen it. I think it's still on the web. They can bring it back to life. They can bring it back to life. It's not so bad. If you look at all his life, it's the only thing bad I find. Yeah, it's really bad, but it's the only thing bad I find, the mimicking. I'm not saying there is not more bad things, but it's the only one I find really, the mimicking. But I would call this a forest. So you can't see the forest for the trees. If you focus on a single tree, you'll miss all his championships, all his achievements, all the history he has done. So don't be a hypocrite. Hopefully See you guys tomorrow. Okay. Enjoy some PUBG. Land loots arrive. The Holy Trinity. Okay, not this song, yeah. The new song, no, I'm not saying he needs to be born again. I really believe he doesn't need to be born again. I just like this song a lot. But okay, if it gets bad interpretation, let's go to the early access. Okay, and now I think I cannot get one. Enjoy PUBG song, but don't expect me to string anything else for today. I think that's it for today. And I highly recommend Battlefield 4 Prima Guide. It's really good. But it's mostly about the maps, like map knowledge. Map knowledge is really important, but for me, if I don't play the Battlefield 4 anymore, maybe it's not so relevant. But I'm still thinking about reading it. I really like Strong Side. That's a nice gamer tag. He created this gamer tag. I try to think maybe where he got inspiration from, but I cannot see. So maybe he created this gamer tag. And all the guys on this book have nice gamer tags. Flame Sword, Illuminati. I mean Illuminati. Okay. Okay, that's enough for today. Hopefully, see you guys again tomorrow. GG's everyone.